guys, welcome to the Cleanse and Restore program. I am so excited to have you here. I'm so ready to begin and I hope that you are as well. So I just wanted to welcome you into the program to give you a little bit of a heads up about the things that are going to be coming up during the cleanse. This video is going to focus on the mindset and the dietary shifts that you're going to be choosing to make during the cleanse, and then there'll be a separate video about the supplements following on from this. So you'll see now that you have access to the members area, and what I recommend you do is that you save your members area in your favorites or save it in your notes so that you have quick access to it. Because what I'd love for you to do, and I know that it's probably very tempting to do the opposite, but I'd love for you just to go through it day by day, rather than go ahead now and look through it all and maybe sort of skim read it. What I'd love for you to do instead is every day of the cleanse over the next 30 days is to go into the members area, go into the website and read the day and absorb it, maybe set your alarm 10 minutes earlier in the morning so that you've got time to go through the information that I'm giving you. Now, just to be clear, this is completely up to you what elements of the cleanse you choose to take as your main focus. So if I suggest doing something and it really doesn't feel right for you, or if it's not pertinent to your lifestyle at the moment, please feel free to come back to it at a later stage. Do not feel like you need to do everything, and please do not feel like you need to be perfect. In fact, don't think about being perfect at all. This is about progress. It's about consistency. It's about showing up and doing your best. It is not about making grand sweeping changes that are unsustainable, that don't feel good to you, and that, therefore don't actually bring you forward in your journey. So I really want you to think about that as you're reading through the suggestions that I make. Do what feels right for you. Do what feels good to you. When we think about going on a diet, we tend to, particularly as women, we tend to be very black and white. We tend to go from one extreme to another. We tend to, feel that if we don't do it perfectly, that we've failed, and to have feelings around guilt and shame and imperfection. This is really the opposite of what I'm encouraging you to begin to take on as your normal lifestyle. This is about making choices. This is about making choices to feel your best, to make choices that help your body, to make choices that allow you to feel radiant and to glow and to, just feel energetic and feel well in yourself. So if I'm suggesting something that doesn't equate to that, please feel free to modify it so that it works for you. And during the 30 days, and particularly starting with these first 10 days, I've created some dietary shifts, some changes that you may want to take on board. And what I hope is that you do what feels right for you, and that these become part of your lifestyle, that these become your natural daily habits because they feel good, because they feel joyful, because they make your body feel excellent, because you notice changes in your energy and your radiance and all of that, that these then become your go-to ways of being in terms of your eating habits. And that doesn't mean that you can't have a slice of pizza or some chocolate or a glass of wine here and there. Of course not. This is life. We have to be realistic. Perhaps during the 30 days, you're going to be more mindful and more aware of breaking some old habits that don't serve you. And if having a glass of wine after a day at work is a habit that you've got into, it may be worth looking into that habit and perhaps queuing up a different habit that serves you better. If that glass of wine is not serving you, if it's not helping you to feel your best, if it's making you feel lethargic the next morning, if it's leading you to make some poor food choices that night, then we just want to bring self-awareness into our behavior and to understand why we're doing it, and perhaps to bring in another habit that serves us better. So let's take, for example, the glass of wine. So with habits, there are three things, three parts to a habit being formed, really. So there's the cue. There's the thing that makes us want it, the trigger. So with a glass of wine, it might be just finishing work. That's your cue. You have established that when you finish work, you drink a glass of wine. After the cue becomes the action. So the action is to pour the glass of wine, to maybe take your work clothes off or to take your work shoes off, to sit down on the sofa. That's the action. And then thirdly is the reward. So that's the feeling that it brings. Perhaps it brings you into a different state of mind. Perhaps it helps you to feel more relaxed. Perhaps it, just gives you an end of day, finishing your workday feeling. So what you could do instead of having the habit of a glass of wine is you can become self-aware of what it is that is driving your desire for the glass of wine. Is it having a sense of relaxation? Is it feeling like you are finishing your work day? Is it that you're looking for some more energy? So whatever it is, then of course it's going to be unique for you. The more self-aware you can be and the more aware of your behaviors you can become and see the habits that come of them, the easier it is then to create changes and to put in place perhaps a habit that serves you better. So let's take, for example, the glass of wine. And let's say that you work out that for you, having that glass of wine it really just means that you have put an end to your day. So the cue is finishing work. The habit is the glass of wine. We want to change that. So your cue is finishing work. Your new habit, for example, it could be that you go for a half an hour walk. So the cue is you finish work. The habit is you go for a half an hour walk. The reward is, the feeling is that you have put an end to your day, that you feel like you've taken some fresh air, that you feel alive, you feel like you've moved away from your desk, that you're no longer focused on your work, you feel more relaxed, you feel like you're ready to go and cook yourself some supper. So it's the same cue, but you've put in place a different habit and it's brought a similar reward. So you need to, again, think to yourself what is going to work for you, because I can't speak for you and I don't know what exactly it is that you need. But becoming aware of your habits is really, really important. And what I've given you in these first 10 days of the program, in the Activate part of the cleanse, is dietary changes that you may want to make. And so these instead are going to become your habits. So for example, when we look at day 2 and drinking plenty of water, how are you going to establish that as part of your habit, part of your daily behavior? And I've given you some tips about how you can do that. When it comes to eating breakfast, again, you may have a cue. That cue is just that you wake up and you're expecting to eat breakfast. So rather than going straight to what you normally have, which might be a piece of toast and a cup of coffee, let's create a different habit. Let's create making a delicious smoothie and a green tea your habit. Let's look at, for example, alcohol, which we've touched on. That can be a very established habit. How can we look at breaking that habit and replacing it with something better? So these first 10 days are really all about just creating change within your diet, looking at your habits, becoming more self-aware of what it is that drives your habits, and making changes that feel good to you, and making changes because you want to, not because you have to, but because you're choosing to, because they help you to feel your best. And that's what I really desire for all of my clients, for you guys who I'm working with and my other clients. I really hope that they find a sense of freedom, because that's been my journey and my path towards my own healing, is to find freedom in food, find freedom in my thoughts, to not be fixated on, what I'm doing and doing it perfectly, and It's not about cutting everything out. It really isn't. It's just not sustainable. So please don't think that you need to do that. It's not about being completely black and white. It's about being joyful in the food choices that we make, because we know that they're supporting us to help us to feel our best. So that's what the first 10 days is going to look like. The subsequent 10 days is going to be about creating more lifestyle changes, more lifestyle habits. And then the last 30 days is more about mindset. So I wish you so much joy and success with the cleanse. Of course, I'm available to answer any questions that you have. Like I suggested, please just go through it day by day. Don't think that you need to read it all at once. Just come back to it each day and see what you can do in terms of upgrading your habits to, you know, follow through on my suggestions if they feel good to you. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see what the next 30 days brings. So speak to you guys all again soon. If you need anything, please just be in contact with me via email, via messenger, whatever, WhatsApp, whatever communication suits you best. And yeah, I'm here and I'm doing this alongside you, and I'm really excited. Take care, guys. Bye.